I'm gonna try. Work till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, 'cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence, and I've got another video for you. It's another long one. Yeah, it's a very long one, but I was so happy with this set. I'm not gonna lie, I really liked it. I was quite pleased with myself. Gave myself a little pat on the back. Not often that I really love every nail, and yeah, I did, so I was really chuffed. Anywho, as you saw in the beginning, those are the bits that I'm using, and I got these nail files from SBD London. It's a pack. You get a pack that you can buy them in like certain grits, or you can buy them in a multi-pack, and this is the multi-pack, so I thought I would try them out on this set of nails in this video and give them a wee whirl, and they're actually really nice, so yeah, thumbs up on them. And they just look really cute. I mean, who doesn't like a pretty ombre? Really like them. Anywho, so because I'm just testing these nail files out, I thought I would show you me trying out the file on those nail tips that I'd already applied. So nails had been prepped as usual. There's still a bit of acrylic on, which any of my regular viewers know. I don't take off all of my acrylic. There's no need to, absolutely no need to, and this way I don't end up prepping my nail over and over again. I just have to prep the regrowth area. That's how I do it. I file back and I keep some of the clear on. Hence, I put my thin clear base. So as you can see now, after I applied the dehydrator and the primer, I'm applying the thin clear base, that I always file back to when I'm going to do a new set. That way my nail is protected from being over filed and over prepped. Just makes sense to me. I'm a logical person, and logically that makes sense to me. In this way I know my nails are protected and they won't end up wafer thin. Yeah, you don't want really to thin out your nails. It's not a good idea. Anywho, so yes, just a little bit of clear acrylic onto that nail bed area just to protect it. You see, the thin clear base, oh god, I can't speak. It really does a lot of different things. So one, obviously, is, as I was mentioning, you can file back to that, so you know once you get to the clear layer you're not going to file your nail. You can stop filing once you've hit that clear layer. So once you've filed off your colour, you see clear, you know you're there, don't file anymore. It also protects the nail bed from staining, because various coloured acrylics can be very, very pigmented and therefore can stain. I really am tongue-tied today, aren't I? They can stain the natural nail. So to avoid that, thin clear base. Also, clear is the strongest acrylic because it has no pigmentation. So you get that little bit of added strength. If you sandwich your clear underneath over the top of your coloured acrylics, then you're going to have a really strong nail. So yeah, all of those things, all the things, is why I do a thin clear base. Anyway, as I was waffling on, I'm applying on the middle finger just the white acrylic. I'm going to do a full nail of the white, as you can see. So I'm keeping this very, very thin because I will be encapsulating this nail, but I wanted this white as my background for those gorgeous decals that you saw me show you in the beginning of the video. Oh wow, Karen, you really can't talk today. Why are you voicing over, dude? Right. The decals that you saw me showing you in the beginning of the video, They are made by a company called Print by Example, which is owned by and made by Rachel Hanks, the beautiful Rachel Hanks. She's a lovely lady, and I've known her for quite some time. And when she started doing these decals, I was like, oh wow, they are awesome, they are massive, they will fit on extra long nails. I need some. So I got some, and they are awesome, like awesome. They are not solvent resistant, so you do need to use gel polish to coat them before you use your acrylic over the top to encapsulate, so that the monomer doesn't melt the decal. But yeah, I'll show you that when I get to that point. So on the other fingers, as you saw, I just did an ombre on the tips with the white. I faded it back. If you fade it back really nicely, then it's easier for you to ombre your cover pink over the top of it, which I am now doing. So I gave it a chance to set up as I did the thumb, and then went back to the ring finger, and now I'm adding my cover pink over the top and ombreing it. So that's the second bead I've just applied, and I'm getting that cuticle area nice and neat. We do want it neat. I do try and keep my nails neat. Sometimes I get a bit sloppy, but I do try and keep them as neat as possible. So I just needed a little bit more around that cuticle area to get it as nice and, what's the word? Not jaggedy. Oh wow, that's not, yeah, you know what I mean. Can't find my words today. Anywho, so yeah, I'm just going to work on my ombre, get that blend going, and I just compared it to the other finger on my other hand to just check how far I brought that ombre down, the white, because I want the nails to look on both hands to look similar. So yeah, I was just checking how far I brought that ombre down on the other hand, and once I was happy with that, I moved on to the thumb. And so that first bead, I apply that right where I faded that white backwards, and then blend that down onto the white. Then I add my cuticle bead, get my cuticle area nice and neat, and then smooth down the rest of the front of that bead to also go into the ombre. And I've got something stuck in my acrylic and it's driving me nuts, and I was trying to dig it out. Anyway, so this acrylic, this cover pink is slightly translucent, so the ombre needed a little bit of work to make sure that the white wasn't a harsh line, you know. So yeah, then I brought it too far down, so as you can see, I just used monomer on my brush to wipe away where I didn't want it, because I didn't want it too far down over the white and making it look less white. I really wanted a nice bright white, so it's easier to do it if you were to ombre over a milky white, but I wanted the bright white. So yes, you know me, I'm always up for a challenge, and I do make life harder for myself. So yeah, anyway, so I'm going to cap those two ombre nails now, because I only added the cover pink and the white just for the colour of it, not for the strength. So now I will cap it and think about the shape and structure of my nail. Whilst I'm capping, I'm also going to be stroking my brush down the side of the nails to try and make sure I don't lose my shape too much, to help me when it comes to filing, because yes, filing's not fun. I like watching it, but for my frosty filing freaks, you'll get some filing in this video. You'll get a lot of filing in this video actually. So my frosty filing freaks will be happy. There's lots of filing in this video. For those who are not interested in the filing, I have left a little notation on screen when it gets to the filing part of how far you need to skip through the video to get past the filing and onto the top coating type and crystal portion of the video. So yeah, but anyway, as you can see, still capping. So I'm looking at the nail from all angles whilst I'm capping, and then moved on to the thumb, and I'm making sure that the nail is as thick as it needs to be. I didn't need quite as much by the cuticle area because there was a fair amount of cover pink there, so I only needed a little bit to help build up that apex to the right height. So I start off in the middle of the nail, bring it down to cover the tip, as you saw, and then I will add some more to the tip wherever I need it to make sure it's the right thickness, and that I'll have enough to file without making it too thin. I don't like a thick free edge. I've mentioned it in many other videos. I like it to be credit card thickness or thinner, really. I don't enjoy having a really thick doorstep of a free edge. So yeah, that's my personal preference. Some people like really thick nails. I'm just not into that. So as you saw, I'm just adding some clear to that cuticle area to bring that apex just up a little bit more, and then just below that I will add another bead to continue my apex and make sure that this very long nail is as strong as it needs to be. There was a little bit of a dip on the side, so I added a smidge of acrylic to that. And now that the white has set up, I will use the water decals. So I have deionized water in a pump bottle on my desk, and as you saw in the little notation bubble there, deionized water doesn't it doesn't support the growth of bacteria, so you can keep it in a water pump bottle on your desk and it's not going to go all green and moldy and slimy, which would be disastrous. You can't use something like that. That is asking for trouble. You'll end up with all kinds of infections. So yes, don't keep tap water on your desk for any extended long period of time, because after 2 days it will grow bacteria. So if you want to keep something on your desk, make sure it's deionized water, not bottled water, not tap water, not your Brita filter. No, it has to be deionized water. So just a little tip for you there. So as you saw, I put my water decal into the water after I'd cut it out, and now that I have put it on the nail, after I've actually applied base coat to the nail, which helps you slide the decal. You don't have to worry about it drying in the wrong place. You've got more time to maneuver it where you want it to go. So yeah, little tip, if you want to be able to maneuver it afterwards, after you've applied it, then base coat is your best friend. Just bung a bit of that on and then you can maneuver it. And as you saw, I clipped the top of the decal so that it would sit flush on the nail, because obviously nails are curved, decals are flat pieces of decal, so if you want it to curve around the nail, you will have to put little darts in it, and then you'll get it to sit flat, which is the best thing to do really, instead of getting folds. So yeah, and then I base coated it again and then cured that in the lamp, and now I'm just using a little bit of acetone on a brush after I trimmed off the excess, and the acetone will melt the rest of the excess off, any that's left. So I'm just using a little brush with some acetone, and that melts any bits of the decal that haven't been base coated. And if it has got base coat on it, then I just use my scissors and snip it off, because obviously acetone's not going to melt that base coat. It's just not going to do it. Gel polish doesn't melt just like that unless it's a soft gel, but even if it's a soft gel, it would still take time for it to melt. Anyway, I'm waffling. So now that I have clipped off the excess and done all that cleanup, I will now cap that beautiful decal in clear acrylic, and like I said, because I have base coated over the top of it, it is safe and encased in the gel, so the monomer is not going to affect it, and it will look gorgeous. And I really loved this. It's like it's the thing from the rose in a jar from Beauty and the Beast, you know, and it's losing petals. Oh, it's just such a pretty decal. It is beautiful. The rose is just gorgeous, and I love how the glass dome has sort of a shine to it. It's just really clever the way she's done this decal. I love it. You will see more videos of more decals, because I do have a few, and for me, as most of you know, I can't draw for toffee, so decals, stamping, Yeah, those are my best friend stickers, because I can't draw. This is my cheat method, but you know what? It's a quick way to get a stunning design on your nail, so I don't care if I'm cheating. I can't draw. I can't. I don't mind cheating. They look gorgeous. I love them. So now that I've finished encapsulating that rose, I will move to the little finger. I am applying a thin layer of this glitter. I think this one's the Monroe, if I remember rightly. It's just clear acrylic with a very fine red glitter mixed in it, and yeah, so I'm just applying a very thin, it's basically a base, so that when I put my crystals on, you won't be able to see the gaps, because the red of the glitter will sort of fill in any gaps between the crystals. It's yeah, if you're doing a full bling nail, it's always a good idea to give it a bit of a background of glitter, so that you can't really notice any gaps between the crystals. It just kind of deceives the eye a little bit. It's just a clever little trick. So yeah, if you're doing a full bling nail, definitely put a corresponding glitter underneath it. It makes a world of difference, really does. So once I have made sure that that glitter is totally covering that nail, I will let that glitter set up, and I will go on to the index finger. Again, I'm using a very thin layer of that Monroe glitter as a background, because the Winslet glitter has bigger glitter pieces in it, and again, it's the same principle as the bling nail. You put down a thin base of a corresponding colour, and then you won't notice so much of any gaps, because this, like I said, this, as you can see, this Winslet glitter has quite chunky bits in it, so it is, without putting loads on, you get full coverage. I think I'm explaining myself right. I know what I mean. Yeah, it's an easier way to get full coverage if you use a fine glitter underneath it. That way you don't have to use a ton of the chunky glitter to get full coverage. There we go. I went around the houses as usual, but you guys should be used to that by now. So I'm just filling in any little gaps and putting some chunky pieces if there are any gaps between, like, I don't want any bald patches, if it were, as it were. I want a good distribution of the chunky pieces all over that nail. So I'm being a bit selective with picking up certain bits, but I'm a fusspot, you guys know that. Once I'm happy with it, I will leave it alone and let it set up. But apparently I want more. I do like my glitter. I do like glitter. I'm a bit of a magpie. So now that I'm happy with that, I'll let that set up and move back to the little finger so that I can cap that gorgeous stuff into clear acrylic so that it's nice and protected and I don't file it away, and also add my strength and structure of the nail, of course. As you saw before I added the first bead, I did dampen that nail down with a bit of monomer. Don't totally soak the nail, but just dampen it down with a damp brush, and yeah, it just makes your acrylic glide over a little bit easier, a little bit nicer, and you are less likely to get any frosted parts in your clear acrylic. It can crystallize sometimes, the clear acrylic, if you've got any dry powder patches, so dampening down the nail does help with that. It just does. So good practice to just dampen the nail down. Obviously don't, like I said, don't drown the nail. You don't want monomer running into your sidewalls and your cuticles and all over your fingers, because it's really bad for your skin. But yeah, just dampen it down enough that it doesn't run off the nail, and then you can apply your clear nice and neatly, and it will give you that crystal clear glass effect. Also, another little tip, if you want your clear to be really, really clear, apply it slightly wetter. Not like running off the nail, but a slightly wetter bead, and you will get a better clarity out of your clear. So yeah, so I'm adding a ton of beads because apparently I wasn't picking up big enough beads. So I'm adding tiny little ones into areas where I hadn't had enough acrylic. So if there were any dips, I've filled them in, and once I'm happy with that nail, I will leave it alone and then go on to the index finger again, and as you saw, dampen the nail down, and then I will add my clear. So I started sort of in the middle of the nail with that first bead, brought it down towards the very free edge, added a bead behind that, brought it down. Then I looked at the side of the nail and saw that there was a dip in the free edge, so added a bead there where I needed it. Now my index finger always needs more than my other fingers because my nail curves down. This is my worst hooked nails. All of my nails are hooked, but this is my worst hooked nail, so it tends to have a hidden apex in it. It just, because it dips down, I need to fill it in with acrylic, so it does have a bit of a hidden apex in it. So you will see me put quite a bit of acrylic on it, but it's not that I'm making a huge thick nail. It is technically a huge thick nail, but when you look at it, it doesn't look like it's a thick nail because it's a hidden apex. I hope I'm making sense. I'm talking 100 miles an hour. Oh, if I'm talking too fast, I'm really sorry. Yeah, it's just one of those days. I'm on one. So yeah, adding beads and more beads and more beads until I'm happy with the shape of that nail. Make sure I've encapsulated those sides because the glitter was a bit uneven and sticky uppy bits and bobs, so it was hanging off the sides of the nail a little bit. So I'm just making sure that my clear acrylic went all the way around and encased them all. So again, just giving it one last check, make sure, and if it's not even all the way around, because you see I look at through, down the barrel, from the side, straight on as well, and compare it to the other hands and make sure that all of the nails are a similar thickness. And once I'm happy, then I can move on to the filing once it's set up. And as you saw, if you do not wish to watch the filing, skip ahead to that timestamp and you will skip all of the filing. But for my frosty filing freaks, I have included a ton of filing for you. So first things first, using my e-file, and I am using a tapered cone bit. It's got a black band on it, but it's not extremely coarse, it's just a medium. I'm using that around the cuticle area to get that nice and flush and neat. Make sure I seal that cuticle area and make sure none of the acrylic is on the skin, because that will of course cause lifting. We do try and avoid applying it too close so that it doesn't get on the skin, but using a cuticle bit, it's not technically a cuticle bit, using a tapered barrel bit gives you the chance to get right around that cuticle area really close. So yeah, that's what I'm doing first of all, sorting that area out first. And it's quite on fairly low speed, and then I can turn the speed up a little bit more, sort out my underarch and my free edge and basically the whole nail, debulking and just sculpting it. Any lumps and bumps, get them out with the e-file first before I hand file. So it's means you've got less work to do with the hand file. So as you saw there, just going under the underarch and then doing the sides of the nails and then the body of the nail. And you can see the way I'm using my e-file down, I'm pulling it down from the middle of the nail down towards the free edge. And then I will also go side to side. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm contouring the nail. I'm really paying attention to where I'm placing my e-file bit and contouring and curving that nail as I go. That way, like I said, less to do with the hand file. So same again on the index finger, sorting out that underarch that I made messy with the glitter hanging off the edges. But yeah, e-file whizzes that away quite quickly. Same with the thumb, sort out that under arch first, neaten that up, sort out the free edge, and then debulk and curve. I mean, it doesn't really need debulking because I didn't put too much acrylic on, so it's not too much debulking. And there we go. So I've finished with the e-file, and now I will just, yes, finish contouring and straightening out those sides, and then I will just remove any demarcations from the body of the nail as well with the hand file. So routine is key with your filing. If you want your nails to all be very similar shaped, it's good to have a routine. So as you saw, I'm doing the under arch and the side walls first on each nail before I move to the next step. So under arch, side wall, and then I stop and I look and I make sure that the nail is even so that I'm not filing one side too much and making the nail wonky. And if it is slightly wonky, this is the time where you could sort it out and, you know, say if it's sloping towards the left, well then you'll file that left side a little bit more than you file the right and sort of straighten it out and compensate. So you can, you know, sort out a wonky nail that way too. Again, side wall, under arch, free edge, square that off, keep stopping and looking and making sure the nail looks good. I wasn't happy with that middle finger, so I did a little bit more, because I'm looking at the nails as a whole. Once I've filed them all on the sides, I look at all fingers together and make sure it's more uniform, and that's why I went back to the middle finger, because it would seem to be a bit thicker than the other ones, so I tapered it in a little bit more, so that was why I did that. And now I will switch to another file, which is a 150, so it's a less harsh of a grit than the 100, and I will whip around that cuticle area and blend my apex into it, or blend it into my apex, and go up my side walls, slope it over towards the middle of the nail, and then I will go down, up and down the middle of the nail, blending as I go into the sides so that I have a nice curved nail. We are sculpting that nail with the file, making sure it is nice and curved. I think the door knocked and I stopped, and then I came back, and then I forgot to press record, so that's why we skipped the middle two fingers. Sorry about that. Anyway, so it's the same on all of the fingers. I did the same thing, so up the sides, around the cuticle area, blend that in, down the other side, and then down the barrel of the nail, blending sort of a violin motion, over, up, over, down, up, over, down, up, over, down kind of thing. And if I needed to, as you can see, I also do a vertical up and down the middle of the nail. And it's, yeah, you look at the, make sure you keep stopping and looking at the nail, and you'll, if you just go ham without stopping and looking what you're doing, you can really mess up the shape of your nail. So always stop and look and make sure that you're curving that nail the way it needs to be curved. So now that we have done the filing, I've removed all the dust, wiped the nails over with a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol, and now I'm going to do that bling nail, this full bling nail. So I'm using this Tony Lee jewellery gel, which you've seen in a lot of my videos. I love this stuff. It's really nice for putting crystals on. So I'm just going to put a thin layer of this on the nail first, with just a brush. Any brush will do. Just brush it on nice and thinly. It's really thick, this one. It's really good for big crystals. And now that I've applied that, I will also then use a tack-free top coat over that, which, because the Tony Lee jewellery gel isn't tack-free, so you don't want to put your crystals on and then have a sticky in between bits. So to avoid that, if you just top coat over the jewellery gel before you put your crystals on, then you won't have any tacky layer in between the crystals. That would be a pain in the butt to remove. So yeah, just top coat over that for tack-free one, and just avoids that problem altogether. And this nail takes forever. It literally takes forever, so I'm gonna leave you to watch this nail because it takes forever. It's a lot of crystals. Yeah, I don't often do a full bling nail, and this is why. It takes so long to apply all these crystals. So yeah, I will let you watch this bit in peace, and I'll be back.
Get away, but I could use some company. If you're alone like me, we could go on a trip. Girl, I wanna see the sun, dive into the deep ocean, dance with you all night long, move as you swing your hips. Let's take a break from the stress and the hate. Feel the loving, feel the rhythm, singing oh na na, oh na na. I wanna go where the birds fly low. Feel my heartbeat, feel the music, singing oh na 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 na. I can take you anywhere you want, if you come with me tonight. I can show you things you've never seen, if you come with me tonight. Say the words and I'll make it happen, where do you wanna go? I can take you anywhere you want, if you come with me tonight. Life is so bittersweet, let me put your mind at ease. Trust me, I'll take the lead, cause I wanna ride with you. Just give in to the fire, cause I'ma take you higher. You're my only desire, yeah. Let's take a break from the stress and the hate. Feel the loving, feel the rhythm, singing oh na na, oh na na. I wanna go where the birds fly low. Feel my heartbeat, feel the music, singing oh na 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 na. I can take you anywhere you want, if you come with me tonight. I can show you things you never seen.
Phew, finished that bling nail. So time consuming. Anywho, I'm going to be doing somewhat of a cluster kind of type on this finger nail. I've got these metal rose alloy things. They're really beautiful, but because they're quite sticky uppy, I'm using the Tony Lee gel to put those in, because things that are pointy backed or bigger, because the Tony Lee gel is so thick, you're able to sink whatever you're using right into it, and it will grip and grab them really tightly and hold them on, and which is what you want. You want your gems and whatnots, alloys, to stay on your nails. So I put a blob of that on, put my rose in that blob, squished it down, and then put some pointy backs around it to sort of give it a bit of support. It's a bit like, holding a diamond in a claw setting on a ring kind of thing. Same sort of principle. And now that I'm using some flat backs, I'm using the SBD London Diamond Gel pen. So that's perfect for the smaller gems. Also, because the Tony Lee gel is thicker, it doesn't slide around so much. Whereas if I was to use the SBD London for the bigger stuff, it might slide off. Whereas the Tony Lee gel is so thick, it's less likely to slide off when they're big pieces, when they're weighty. With the smaller pieces, they don't really slide off so much. But yeah, so using the SBD London Diamond Gel and just, putting some crystals around it. Similar crystals, basically the same ones that I've put on the bling nail. Different sizes of opals, ABs and reds. And just blinging, bling. This nail is, it's got a lot of bling. But then again, this whole set is really blingy. I'm getting more into my crystals. I've noticed as my sets are progressing, I'm adding more and more bling. Yeah, I'm definitely getting more blingy these days. Really enjoying the crystals. instead of just a little tiara around the cuticle, I'm going ham with the crystals these days. I'm really enjoying it. I love it. I love the crystals. The set that I'm wearing at the moment, because this set was done a while ago, but the set that I'm wearing at the moment is got a huge cluster of crystals on it, and I just love them. I absolutely love them. I know they're not for everybody, and a lot of people don't like them because, you know, they stick up off the nail and stuff like that, but for me, I love my crystals, so get used to seeing more blingy nails from me, because there will be more. This set, timing wise, would be nice for Valentine's Day, but I actually did these a while ago, so I wasn't even thinking about Valentine's Day at the time. But yeah, this would be a nice Valentine's set, really, when you think about it. It's got the reds and the roses. Yeah, it would work for Valentine's. It wasn't Valentine's when I did it, like I said, but hey, listen, I don't tend to do things when I'm supposed to do things, as in themes. I'll do it whenever I feel like it. I don't care what time of year it is. You probably noticed I don't really follow the trends. I live in my own little world, and I do what I like when I like to do it. So anyway, flash cured that cluster as I went along, and yeah, now I'm using the SPD diamond gel to obviously do a kind of necklace type on the thumb. Yeah, this whole set's just, I love this set. I hope you guys liked it too. We are very close to the end of the video, so if you've made it this far, thank you ever so much. I will let you watch the rest of the video in peace. There is some video footage and some photos at the very end of the video, because now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. So yeah, I'll let you watch this in peace. Oh, let me just mention, I'm just top coating just the very edge around that nail, which will also help hold those crystals that are on the edge. It really helps to hold them in place. But anyway, yeah, I'll let you watch in peace. Thank you so much for coming and watching this video. If you've made it this far, like I said, thank you ever so much. I appreciate your time that you've taken to watch this video. Can't say thank you enough. If you have not subscribed already, you know, do the things. Click that subscribe button, turn your notifications on to all so that you know the next time I upload another video. And if you've enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, please click that like button. It really helps me out. You know, it's just a little something you can do for me that would be really nice. Thank you ever so much. And if you feel like it, you are most welcome to leave me a comment. I'm happy to talk to you. That's all I've got for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.
Then you are out like snow in the spring. I just want your time. Your time, oh, time. I need your time. 365, 24/7, I'll be fine. As long as you spend a little time. Oh, spend a little time. I need your time. Spend a little time, yeah. 365, 24/7, I'll be fine. Long as you spend a little time. I just want your time. I just want your time. This might be right. Either you feel it or you don't. Might give it a try, yeah. Someday soon I'm gonna make